Hi, and welcome to another episode of Kathleen Explains Politics. Because if you're trying to follow along right now and you have no idea what's going on, most of us don't. It's crazy right now. But if you understand what the rules are, it makes it a little bit easier to understand. It's like watching a football game. If you know what the rules are, at least you know what's happening. So today we're going to go over what are the three branches of government and why do we have those, how laws get passed in America, and why everything is so crazy right now. So over here we have the Supreme Court. This is the judicial branch. Think judges with their little gavels. Up here we have the executive branch, that's the president of the United States. And then over here we have Congress, which is made up of the House of Representatives, or just the House, 435 people in total. And then you have the Senate, which is 100 people in total. Together, the House and the Senate make up Congress. Those are our three branches. Why do we have three branches of government, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. Back in the day when we were under King George over in England, King George was a one branch of government guy. One guy gets to decide all of the things. That wasn't fair to us. So we said, heck nah. We went over to America, we fought a war, we wrote a constitution, and we made a whole new system of government because we didn't like how the other guy was doing it. And in our system of government, we built in what I like to call the heck nah clause, more formally known as checks and balances. Basically, if one of these guys says something that's crazy, the other two can say heck nah and step in and fix it. That's why we have three branches. Similarly, in the lawmaking body of America, we have three groups. And if any one of these in the lawmaking process says, heck nah, the law doesn't get passed. So in order to pass legislation in America, it has to go through the House of Representatives. They write up legislation, they write up a law, they vote on it, and if the majority of these 435 guys say, we like this, then it goes over to the Senate. And these 100 senators have to decide, do we like this? And if they do, then the law gets sent up to the White House, and the president has executive authority to say, yes, this is a law, or no, in which case he would veto the law, and it wouldn't get passed. So if any one of these says, heck nah, it doesn't happen. If they all say yes, that's how we get laws passed. The reason everything is FUBAR right now, and the reason that it's so chaotic, we've got an issue where what if one of these three, what do we do if somebody says they don't care what the rules are? What do we do in that situation? We're not entirely sure. If you're watching a football game, generally there is a player that will break the rules somehow. And then the referees step in and they maybe eject that player from the game. We don't have that kind of check in our government because we've never had that issue before. So right now, everything's crazy because we're trying to figure out what do we do if somebody says they don't care what the rules are? How do we handle that? I'm not quite sure yet. But one thing we do know is in 2026, we have the midterm elections. Now, the midterm elections are really, really important for you and me because we, as the voters, we're kind of the unofficial fourth branch of the government in here. We, as the voters, if something in here, in these three is going haywire, we get to be the body that says, heck nah. So the midterm elections, every 4 years, you have a presidential election. Midway through the president's term, you have what's called a midterm election. Now, our midterms next happen in 2026. And in 2026, every single one of these 435 members of the House of Representatives, every single one of them is up for re-election. And about a third of our senators are up for re-election. And this is why the midterms are so important. And if you've heard people talking about it, this is why. If there's people in here that are not doing their stuff right, if they're not following the rules, if they don't care what the rules are, in 2026, that's when we become the referees and we get to eject people from the game. And we can pull in players who do care what the rules are, who will play a fair game. So that's kind of where we are. Look towards the midterms because that's going to be a really, really important part of fixing the craziness that's going on right now. But those are the three branches of government. I really hope this helps because it really is insane right now. And knowing the rules at least kind of gives you a baseline of knowing what's happening. So stay sane, deep breaths, deep breaths, babes. Oh my God.